So the next one then is the local backup, right? And I would say this is a medium level of tech because a lot of people grew up with thumb drives and flash drives and memory cards and things like that. So basically, what this is creating a local backup of the media somewhere, locally, meaning not through the internet, not through the cloud or something like that. This is right at home, locally connected to your computer. You have to physically plug something into the computer. So this is going to require you to purchase some additional hardware, right? And we're talking about flash drives, thumb drives, memory card, compact SD cards, those big memory cards that go in like the cameras, the professional cameras and things like that. Um, they also make these with Lightning and USB-C connectors, right? So you can plug these directly into your phone, directly into the iPad, directly into most devices. They make some kind of dongle or something for. So and that's it. And I say that this requires a medium level of knowledge because again, it's not super complicated. But if you can read through the prompts, follow the instructions, it's going to walk you through saving all of those videos from your phone, from your iPad or whatever, and transferring them to this local storage. So, Greg, what do you think? This is again, I don't think this is super complicated. This is something most people can handle. But do you think this is a good option for some people?
Yeah, I do. I mean, if you don't want to keep everything in the cloud, you don't want to pay that extra stuff, or
Hmm.
and you just want to do like once a year, right?
Right.
Or once every 6 months or something like that to be able to transfer them. There's apps that'll help you do this.
Yes.
Um, if you're interested in that, let us know. We can point you to some resources. Um, Going directly from your phone to that external hard drive, it just takes just a little bit. I wouldn't want to be doing this
Right.
on a regular basis. It'll be slow for one thing,
Yes.
and especially if you're not on the newer phones in like the Pro Max with the Thunderbolt connection. But um, yeah, I think it's good.
Yeah.
Um, get some help doing
Yeah.
this if you've never done something like this before and you want to move everything off. I think this one going directly um, is probably something that doesn't happen a whole lot because people are just going to pay
Yes.
the extra storage for Apple unless you have
Right.
a Mac, and I don't think we have that one down here now. If you have a Mac and want to use your Mac to get these
Hmm.
photos out of the cloud, stick around for the post show.
Yeah. Yeah. This requires, again, like I said, buying some extra hardware or whatever. And the most notable of that are these external hard drives, right? They're $10 for 500 gigabytes on Black Friday, right? And Black Friday's coming up. Also, too, we'll have a shopping guide episode coming up soon. We're planning it out, but so deals like I said, a $10 500 gigabyte hard drive, and you can save all of your. That's more storage that I'm paying for, per month with Apple, right? 500 gigabytes, and you can pretty much save multiple devices, multiple years on these devices, on these external drives. And also too, the same with SD cards and stuff like that. A lot of those are really cheap. They're really large now to be so tiny. And one of the pros for that is you control your files, right? You don't have to worry about losing an internet connection and not having access to your stuff. You don't have to worry about being hacked and stuff like that. Although that's really less of a worry with iCloud. As far as things are now, who knows what how things will be in the future. But at least for now, hacking is the least of your problems when storing your stuff with Apple. Um, there's certain scams or whatever, but as long as you don't give anybody your code or your password or something like that, you don't have to worry about it. But having those files stored locally in your home is, just a peace of mind that you're in control of all of those files and stuff like that. So also redundancy is never an issue, right? You can have backups of your backups of your backups of your backups, and never have to worry about if the hard drive fails or something. And that does happen with these cheaper drives. You don't have to worry about something failing or losing something or a software update breaking the hard drive or something like that because these hard drives are now coming with software pre-installed from the manufacturer that allows you to do cloud sharing and stuff like that. So it's a whole thing. Again, we're not going to go into details about hard drives, but um, just a basic, 300 to 500 gigabyte hard drive. Store all of your photos and stuff on, all of your videos. Sounds pretty easy, but it requires some work on your part, and that's why I put this one in the medium section.
Yep, I
So
agree. I mean, I could store all of mine on a 256 gig
right,
SD card and clean out my phone entirely if I really wanted
yep,
to do that. So again, this is about backups, right? This is not about direct access to your photos. If you say, "Well, but
yes,
then how will I go to my photo?" Well, you're not deleting it from your phone. You're just backing it up to this device. So,
right,
yeah, I
right.
think
You'll
this is
still have it.
fine. Medium level of complexity. I don't think most people are going to do this one. I think they're either going to
Yeah,
stick with Apple or they're going to geek out.
yeah, yeah. So some of the cons, those smaller devices, they can add up, right? If you're doing multiple, especially the smaller capacity ones, um, you need 10 of them, right? Which I have a little thing right here. You probably can't see it, it's off camera, but it's full of SD cards and memory cards and things. It's just a little tray, and I have, a ton of them. Pictures are on them, but they're all in a separate location too. But it can be hard to manage those, right? If you don't want to have a little tray underneath your TV, then I wouldn't go this route either.
The good thing though, they're also, if you label them, you can also throw them in a fireproof safe, right?
Right, right.
So anyway,
Yeah, I didn't think about that, but that is a good option. So, um, also too, so I mentioned this earlier with backing up to iCloud, and viewing certain file types is really challenging, right? If you're not viewing it on an Apple device. So things like live photos, the way my hard drive handles live photos is that it just breaks everything out, and I'll have 53-second videos in the folder. So it really doesn't handle these these photo file types the way Apple intended. So just be conscious of that. If you're transferring them off of the device, even transferring them back on, it may not function the way you want it to function. So live photos, panoramas don't show up at all. I have the file; they're still there. Um, Certain video types, when you're recording video, it can't transcribe those or transcode those videos or whatever. So you'll just have the file, but you won't have a way to view those files. So just keep that in mind. And
yeah, I mean,
the last con,
there would
oh,
be
go
other
ahead.
ways to. You could probably get to those with a Mac or something like that, and
Right,
get them
right.
back to where they need to be. It's still better than not having them at all.
Yes,
Having to
definitely.
having to work to get to them is better than not having them at all.
Yeah, and when we talk about our options too, I'll talk about how that's improving and stuff too over the last few years. The last con, failure is always an option with these things, right? You're talking, we're talking technology, right? If it's stored in a place with too much moisture, too much heat, which is the enemy of all technology, if they're not stored properly, they fail. Even if they're stored properly, they fail. So you back up some photos on a hard drive. You don't access that hard drive for another year and a half, 2 years, 3 years down the line, and you're greeted with the error code that files may be corrupt or something like that. So always just have options. Back up your backups.
Yeah, I
Um,
mean,
have multiple backups.
if you care about your photos, you
Right.
need to be doing more than just one of these things.
Definitely. That should have been in a tiny tip, right? You need to have more than one of these options. So, but again, medium level requires a little more work on your part. Um, you have to actually initiate these backups yourself. There's some automation and stuff like that, but pretty much you're saying take this picture off of this device, move it to that device. You have to actually be actively, uh, uh, doing the transfers. So, but still, good option out there.